Here to tell us all about the International Retro Computer Expo, we have John Shawler here. Thanks so much for coming in.
Well, thanks for having me.
I think a lot of people can relate to this, like, oh, I had one of those, and we, got rid of it years ago. But you're bringing these back to life, so to speak.
That's right, that's right. So there's a whole community of people that really enjoy retro computers. They were either the computers that they used when they were kids, or they were the computers that they wanted that they couldn't afford. And so every year in Hurricane, this is our 4th year, we have an International Retro Computer Expo where everybody brings their old computers and hooks them up. And it's a very hands-on exhibit.
How fun. And we're looking at some footage here, and it'll show there's a big crowd that turns out for this.
Yeah.
I mean, and look at is that Atari?
That actually is the very first video game system ever, the Magnavox Odyssey.
Yes, yes. So this brings back a lot of memories for a lot of people. And I mean, it looks like a lot of fun there.
It is. We have there's a bunch of different activities there. Of course, all the computers are set up. There's an auction. We have talks. People bring their computers in to get repaired. A big part of this hobby is opening these things up and kind of souping them up like you would a classic car. They make all kinds of aftermarket parts that you can put into these things and keep them functional. I mean, this is from 1984, so we're going on 40+ years.
Yeah.
But these computers are still out there and they're still kicking.
So if you have one in your attic, or you think maybe out in the, I don't know, in the garage, you're like, maybe it's time to get this out. Is it okay if people bring in one that they're not even sure if it still works?
Absolutely. We would love nothing more than to teach you about this thing that you've had in your attic for the past 30 or 40 years.
Yes. Okay. Also talk about is there a fee or anything, or did people just show up for this event?
So it's a ticketed event.
Okay.
So it's $40 for the whole weekend, or you can get just a one-day pass if you want to for less. And tickets and information is all on ircexpo.net.
Okay, and we're looking right now at this one. You were talking about, what, 1984?
Yeah, this is 1984. This is the original Apple Macintosh. So this is what started Apple's, line of computers. They're all in one computers. And so it's a really iconic machine because before the Mac, computers were really kind of difficult to get into. There were all kinds of wires. You had to know all kinds of commands. And what the folks at Apple tried to do was make it so you just had to plug it in and turn it on and it would work.
And it was good to go.
Yeah.
This reminds me a lot of the one I used when I was a journalism student at Marshall University back in the 80s. It had this same kind of look there. And I didn't own a computer for a long time. A lot of people didn't. They were so expensive.
Sure,
and then they started getting a little more affordable to where families could pick them up. How did this whole retro festival come together? Because you said this is the 4th year.
This is the 4th year. My buddy and I have a retro computer podcast, and for years we joked about starting a festival and having it in Hurricane, Little Hurricane, West Virginia. And
why not?
We just put out the call, and our podcast audience responded, and we have people flying in from Australia, from the UK. We've had people from Canada, so it's a really international festival.
Okay, and we're seeing the pictures there. This is just fascinating. Any other reminders for folks? Like you said, you can bring in something that you found, or maybe just come and check out what you have.
Yeah, if you don't have any retro computers, but you want to relive the glory days of your youth playing games, we'll have computers from almost every era set up, from the 70s all the way up through the 90s. Also, if you want to get into the hobby, this is a good time too, because we have a big auction, and so people bring their extra computers and you can usually pick things up at a really good price.
That's great. So remind us again when and where and how to get tickets.
This is July 11th through 13th at the Social Event Space on Main Street in Hurricane.
Easy to find.
Easy to find. It's 5 minutes off I-64, and you can get tickets for the event at ircexpo.net. And tickets are $20 to $40 depending on how many days you want to come.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I mean, you're speaking my language. When you first came into the station, I said, I use a rotary dial telephone. I'm very retro. And I mean,
that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, it's on my desk in the newsroom. So, John, thanks so much for coming in, and hopefully a lot more people will, now that they're hearing about it, will come join you this week.
I hope so. I hope so. You're all invited.
Yeah, that's great. Well, don't go anywhere. After the break, there are lots of skin products.